Welcome to Natural News University, where the experts speak out. In 2000, Dr. Barbara Starfield published an amazing article in the Journal of the American Medical Association illustrating the enormous failure of the United States medical system in providing decent medical care for Americans. Well over 200,000 deaths per year are caused by medical errors, making this the third largest cause of death in the U.S. following heart disease and cancer. Clearly, the American mindset towards healthcare has to change. David, where do we start?
I really believe in the theories of inner transformation creates outer transformation, that we are not going to be able to correct our problems from an outside approach where the government steps in and says, we're going to now fix everything from the outside and push it inside. That the real change is going to happen inside our heart, where we reassess our values, meaning we reassess what we believe is important. Some people believe what's important is some kind of a mansion or a yacht or a trip to vacation to wherever. And really the most valuable thing we have is our own health. The most valuable resource we have is our own will, our own integrity, our own genetic health. And if we don't start there inside a change in ourselves where we reassess our values, and what I mean by that is how we spend our money. I mean, we don't start spending money on organic food and superfoods and herbs and get into preventative medicine. We're not going to get there. We got to do that each as individuals, because we obviously cannot rely on the government to do it for us. We obviously cannot rely on the education that's coming in from giant corporations, because they're trying to sell us a product, and that product may be something that's really not good for us.
Tell us a little bit about the difference between raw food and cooked food. Raw food's a really big thing now. We're hearing it all across the country. Restaurants are opening up. You're seeing it in the health food stores and the supermarkets. What's the difference between raw food and cooked food?
The difference between raw food and cooked food is actually one of the greatest scientific discoveries in the history of nutrition, that there's a distinction, that actually raw food is not the same as cooked food. All the creatures in nature, they eat their food raw. All the creatures who have lived their genetic lifespan, like the whale, they eat raw food. That's their natural food. A bear, its natural food is raw. And in fact, every single creature's natural food is raw, except for us and our domesticated animals. Now, we start looking at our domesticated animals, we very quickly see that they suffer from the same illnesses that we do. When we cook food, we destroy most or all of the B vitamins. We destroy vitamin C. We can degrade vitamin D. We definitely disturb or completely destroy vitamin E. We destroy tryptophan, one of the amino acids, which degrades at as low a temperature as 112 degrees Fahrenheit. We can form what's called accelerated glycation end products, or AGEs. We can form acrylamide in our food, nitrosamines. Not only all of that, but then all the water's gone, so our body goes, whoa, wait a second, you were telling me I got to now digest this and liquefy this. That is such a powerful premise behind digestion, that we have to liquefy our food before we can even absorb it. So what actually kills people, what takes people out prematurely, all the energy that is spent to digest cooked food. And it's a massive amount of energy. I mean, I grew up on a standard diet just like everybody else. I ate Fruit Loops for breakfast every day. Pasteurized, homogenized, glow-in-the-dark, chalk-filled, blood-filled, pus-filled milk, with its cut with tap water and put in that plastic container. All of that stuff. And now I've eaten other stuff, which I've eaten raw foods now for 15 years. Here's what I've learned. I feel happier, better. I have unbelievable energy, strength. I have no pain in my body whatsoever, ever, under any condition. I can do nothing for weeks and then suddenly one day hike 28 miles without stretching, without warming up, without any of that stuff. And see, this is how different it is. Most of us are like, what are you talking about? Or we believe that we're supposed to age and then have pain and then arthritis and then heart disease. This stuff is all a process of really, really bad nutrition.
In a nutshell, what are some of your favorite superfoods?
Oh, okay, so where we really, the best gift that we can give to people who are new, we're going like, okay, that sounds right to me, but what do I do?
Sure.
The best gift is superfoods, which is we take the most powerful raw foods in the world and we start there. And the best ones are raw goji berries, raw cacao or raw chocolate, because people have to have something that makes them feel good, something that's fun, something that's entertaining, so we go with the raw chocolate, the raw maca, the raw spirulina, the blue-green algae, the marine phytoplankton, the raw beet pollen. If you're a vegan, then you can do something else. The honeys, raw, wild, organic, obviously, always organic. And then we can also add in, subtly around the sides, things like acai, things like yacon, things like lucuma, these really special things that have come from the great civilizations, aloe vera, noni, and we just start adding this stuff in as best we can in any way possible, and we just go all out to learn about raw and living foods, superfoods, and herbs, and very quickly, especially through internet education, we can become experts in this area.
Yeah, let's talk about this for just one more moment to make it really clear for all our listeners. They're listening to you, it sounds great. Do they have to do this 100% though? It's like, sounds very overwhelming. Or can they just add it a little bit at a time?
There's no way that anybody can just go 100% into anything. That's irrational, it makes no sense. We have to start out very incrementally and very slowly with what we understand and what feels right. That's really important, because what can happen is that we get all this conflicting information by giant corporations that still want to feed us hamburgers, and then people go, you know, that health food doesn't make any sense to me, I'll go back to cheeseburgers and milkshakes and continue to feel awful. What we really recommend is you learn and educate yourself about incremental pieces of the puzzle. It's a big riddle, right? You know,
sure.
Great nutrition is a big riddle, it's a big puzzle. So you just incrementally, you go, oh, you know what? I want the raw chocolate instead of that stuff I used to buy in the stores that had wax in it and all kinds of sugar and whatever. And you start there and you go, whoa, this is different. Let me do the next thing. Then all of a sudden it's a bag of goji berries. Then all of a sudden the snack food is no longer that cooked power bar, energy bar.
Pretzels, potato chips.
Pretzels and potato chips.
We lose that.
So we put that aside, and then all of a sudden we're like, whoa, I can snack on seeds, pumpkin seeds,
great,
hemp seeds. And so it just incrementally happens, and then what happens is, over a period of time, it becomes easier and easier and easier, and a whole lot more fun, because you feel like, whoa, I'm feeling good now. I'm actually feeling good. I've heard it over and over again that people come and tell me, they say, you know, I haven't felt like this since I was 16. I've heard people a year after that come up and tell me, you know what, I never felt this good in my whole life. I never had enough feeling like this. We've always known that something was wrong with our food. We've always known that subconsciously. Right, because we all heard you are what you eat,
sure.
And we all kind of had junk food and we knew it was junk, but we never really realized what the other side looked like. We know what it's like to eat junk food and feel awful, but we don't know what it's like to feel good. So as soon as you get there, you go, whoa, this is what I've been missing all this time.
Can we really change our thoughts and feelings? I mean, can a change in diet actually change our personality? Have you seen that?
Absolutely. It's the only thing that I know for sure can influence our personality and character. Is it the only thing? Of course not. You know, you need the reading, you need the spiritual support, you need to be inspired. But if you're on junk food, to actually move your physiology, your psychology, your overall spiritual awareness is challenging at best. Challenging at best. But when all of a sudden you're nourishing yourself with high vibrational fruits, raw fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, seaweeds, sprouts, wheatgrass, herbs, superfoods, all of a sudden things really start changing inside you. You go, whoa, I'm digesting stuff, I'm not in pain. I'm not wiped out after lunch. I have energy sustained all day long. I feel inspirational energy more often. Well, what ends up happening from that is you start becoming a person who's less moody. You start becoming a person who's less frustrated with life, less angry at the world. You start realizing what your true destiny is, because our true destiny in this cosmos is within our heart. But man, we could be so clogged up, we can't get there. We don't know, what am I supposed to be doing? I don't know, maybe I'll just go work this stupid job over here. And that happens to a lot of people until finally one day they start cleaning this temple up and they go, whoa, I'm supposed to be doing this. Come hell or high water, I'm gonna do this. And that's a change of heart. That's a change of personality. That person becomes a different person. And that's the magic of raw and living foods. That's the secret of dietary transformation. And it happens step by step, incrementally.